Ah, look at that. A crisp but sunny afternoon. Still -1 degrees, but at least the sun is shining. So a few things have changed between the previous episode and this one. Nothing's changed here, that's our Marston Trailer and our Claas tractor, but our first piece of new to us machinery, we have got the Salmon sugar beet cleaner and loader. It does two things in one go. As you put the sugar beet in, the soil drops off and then it loads it into a tractor and trailer or a lorry, so it's going to be a useful thing to have. We also have a new to us, completely new in fact, 17 reg JCB TM320S. This is our new telehandler. Now the reason why I've gone for this style over this kind of style, the Mani 2, is because I think it's actually going to be better for the livestock farm as well, because obviously we're a mixed farm. It's not just arable, we have livestock as well, so we do need to have something which can cater to both. Now I'm not saying the other telehandlers can't cater to livestock, it's just these ones do seem to be better for that kind of thing. So everything is set up, I'm happy with everything. What we need to do now is drive over to field number 11, which is our sugar, or at least it was our sugar beet field. The sugar beet is still in there, but it's on the ground, it needs to be picked up. And as the ground is still nicely frozen, I think this is going to be a very good time to do this particular job, because we're not going to mess up the field too much, it's not going to be sloppy, and soil compaction should be to a minimum. So we're just going to drive over there and get it done. Now I don't have a clue how many trailer loads it's going to be, I don't actually know how many litres we have there. I call it litres, it just sounds weird, it's the way Farming Simulator does it. I would usually say how many tonnes. How many tonnes we have there, I have no idea. But I'm sure very soon we will find out. Now I'm leading the way in the telehandler just because our workers sometimes can't manage with such machinery. They decide to swerve off to the side and crash into oncoming cars, which isn't ideal for our farm insurance. Oh, and also a good thing is I can't break the speed limits, as we're doing 30, although technically we are breaking the speed limit for an agricultural vehicle in the UK. But minor technicality, let's gloss over it. I'm just looking behind me in the wing mirror, and that sugar beet cleaner actually is quite wide, so I don't want to be going too close to the pavements or the walls for that matter. Otherwise we're going to be taking out pedestrians as we go past, which again is not exactly great for our insurance. Not sure why I'm so keen on the farm insurance today, but we must be careful. We can't go wiping out the public. So you may ask the question, what are we going to be doing with the sugar beet? Basically, we're going to be taking, I think it's going to be about a half, 50-50 split, so half will go to the pigs directly. We'll put some into a barn over there, just temporary storage sort of thing, and the rest of it is going to be sold, because I don't think we're going to need the amount that we have. I hope we don't, because I do want to sell some. Now whether or not we're actually going to sell the half which we're supposed to be selling today is a debatable question, something we're going to have to decide on a little bit later. But I'm hoping to sell it at a good price, although sugar beet isn't really worth a great deal. You'd have to have quite a bit of it to do well out of it. But you do get quite a bit per acre or hectare, probably more so than wheat or barley. One nice thing about the winter, and it's true in the UK in real life as well, for some of those days in midwinter it can be very beautiful, because you've got very clear, clean air in most areas, that is in the countryside, which can make it a very nice place to be. But it will still be very bitter, very cold, and most days it is raining or very windy, so I'm not saying that the winters in the UK are nice, far from it. But this is just one of those lovely days which we've managed to get in this series, which is very nice, because I didn't really want to have terrible weather. Having said that, tomorrow it's going to snow, so yeah, that's kind of backfired. Still, we're here now. What I'm going to do is just tell these workers to stop, and we're going to get into position and begin loading. Obviously we can just load this straight into a trailer, and some of you may have already commented that question, why don't you just load it straight into the trailer? The reason why I don't want to load it straight into a trailer is because I actually do want to clean the sugar beet. We need to keep a lot of the soil here, and also if we've got rid of a lot of the soil, it means we won't be putting it all into the pigs' troughs, which I don't think they'd really appreciate, and if it's full of soil, we're just going to have to clear their troughs out later, which is just a counterproductive thing to do. If we have the equipment to do this with, we may as well use it. So in case you're wondering where I got this mod from, I don't think it is released to the public. I don't think it is. If it is, I'll post the link below, but it is by CD Models. I did actually do a mod review of it a while ago, and yeah, I was very impressed with it then. That's why I'm bringing it into this realistic series, because it is a very well made and realistic mod to have. Right, so with that done and out of the way, what we need to do is figure out how to actually use this thing, because it has been some time since I actually used it. I think you used the usual controls. Let me just check. Ah yes, I remember exactly how to use this. A very nice machine to get set up. So what I'm going to do first of all is just drop it there. I don't need to pull it out of the way really, it's just ready to prevent any soil or sugar beet landing on the cab roof. And now that's done, I'll turn the engine off. So we'll jump out, and we're now going to put this trailer in the vicinity of the loader. The cleaner, I should say. Yeah, that's an issue. We could very easily get those two mixed up. They look completely different, but technically they are both loaders. Okay. Oh, look, it's driven here all the way with the steering column like that, unless they just put it up as they jumped out, which they probably did do for extra space. Okay, so we go up to the control panel, press R, and now we can set things up. So, first things first, we need to start the engine. It has its own engine, little exhaust pipe just there, and now what we're going to do is just select the correct controls to lift the conveyor. Sorry if I'm a bit hesitant here, I am just finding my bearings, but yes, that's it. That is correct. I think it's really nice that it's actually got its own engine. I'll have to refuel it at some point, but it shouldn't really get through that much fuel. It has a 34 litre fuel tank, and it looks like at full RPM it gets through a litre per hour, which is very impressive. Next, what we need to do is get back into the Claas Axion. I won't bother shutting the door, just reversing it back to about here, and we can now start to load it up with our JCB. It does have quite a loud engine, that cleaner. I suppose it is very old. So we would be getting almost 4,500 litres at a time here, except for the ability in Farming Simulator to not ever fill a bucket 100%. And it should start straight away. Good. So I hope you get the idea of what I'm doing now. I'll try and do it from in-cab view, but it's not that easy. Having said that, it is easier than doing certain jobs, such as stacking a bale trailer from in-cab. I do find that very difficult. So yes, I have absolutely no idea how many loads it's going to require, but I'm guessing it's going to be quite a few. Judging by how fast, or should I say how slow, the pile is going down each time we scoop a load, I would say we're going to have quite a number of trailer loads coming from this. Which means doing the sugar beet has really paid off. Does that trailer need to be pulled forwards? I think it does. It's going to get a bit too Yeah, a bit too deep at the back there. Put a bit more in the front. Currently 62% full. And there is all the soil and dust falling off it. So a fairly simple job. But yeah, I mean, I think it is the best thing to do here, instead of just putting it straight into a trailer. We don't want so much soil being taken away from this particular field, as it's very important to us. We must have all the soil we can get. But that isn't the main reason. As I've already mentioned, it's more just so that we don't get a massive pile of soil in the pig trough. And is this going to be the final load? Possibly. What we could do is bring another tractor and trailer over. We do have the Red Rock trailer as well. No harm in filling it up. It shouldn't empty if there's no trailer there. Yep, so it must be full. And that's full as well. Brilliant. So we'll shut this off and we'll come back with an extra tractor and trailer. This first load can go to, I would have thought, a storage point, but we'll decide later. Right, so we're over at the pig farm, as you can see. What we're going to do is put it into this shed, and we can then give it to the pigs or sell it as we require. So this is, I would say, the best approach for doing this. Fairly soil free, there will still be something on it, but most of it has fallen off. Now it's actually closer to go back to the field from here. However, we're going to drive back to the main yard just to get the other tractor, and then we'll take both the tractors and trailers together. We'll have to retrieve one of the workers. This could have been a mistake, as this is a very tricky turning. Almost impossible with a big tractor and trailer. Yeah, I should have gone the other way. Technically I didn't touch that. There was just a collision sticking out. Anyway, yes, off we go. Over to the farm. There should be a New Holland tractor. Yep, there it is, just around the corner. And the Red Rock is just there. So I won't block anything in. We'll just go around here. We'll jump out. Don't think there's a handbrake on there. There should be in real life, but I don't think we can enable it in the game. It always feels a little bit weird jumping out without putting the handbrake on. But it shouldn't move. Right, so again, it's not a very big trailer, but at least we've got two, so we can take both of them sort of in convoy, which technically should half the amount of time this is going to take, although I don't think both the trailers are the same size, but they're very similar. Good. So we have got somebody driving for us. I am not too sure who it is. We really should know the names of our workers. Well, we've got Frank, I suppose, but yeah. I don't know who that is. Almost back. There is the forest just over there. And I think our worker is still following us. Yep. Good to see. No accidents today. At least not yet anyway. And we can start loading instantly, as there's already some in the hopper. I think we'll probably just drive straight through, providing there is enough clearance between the tractor and the conveyor. If that is the case, then it means that we can just drive straight through and have follow me still going, although I suppose doing it that way, follow me is still going to cost us money, which isn't ideal. Oh, don't you just hate it when a tractor is having to wait for a car? This really should not happen. This is a 60 limit just here. Thank you, car. Well, here we are. Back in the field after a bit of mild road rage. How much clearance is there? Looks like it's pretty tall. Yeah, it is. Good. Fantastic. I will stop it, because otherwise it's going to cost us quite a bit of money just having the worker sat there, which is not very cost effective. So that's happily loading up straight away, using what we've already put in there. Yeah, this is a huge pile. Does it tell us what size pile it is? Doesn't seem to. Shame. I'd love to know. As you've already noticed, I should think, I've already given up with doing it from in-cab view. Very tricky, because it's not a very wide hopper, and in fact it's a tapered hopper, so it gets smaller as it gets closer to the conveyor. So that is 2 trailers full, and I don't think there's much more left, so it's only going to take probably 1 more trailer to finish it off. Yeah, literally just that on the ground there and this here. So about 1/4 of a trailer load. Still, it needs to be moved, so we'll just continue loading this up. And we're now going to go and take both of these trailers over to the pig farm. So it looks like it's going to end up being about 3 and a bit trailer loads, which actually isn't that much, but if you think about it, it was only 1 very small field, so that really isn't too bad. One of these loads is going to go straight to the pigs. I'm not too sure which one, probably the first one, this one here, but at the end of the day it's all sugar beet, it's all the same stuff, so it doesn't really matter which one. Worker I is following us. Not that it matters, it's just some people like it when I name my worker using the first letter of the worker. I suppose it could be Isabel. I think it's a female. Yeah, it is. This trailer gives some top tips out. If you're going to be stood behind it when tipping, wear a dusk mask. Very important. Or actually, a respirator. That's better. Better than those disposable dust masks. They're rubbish. I have plenty of experience with those things, and yeah, I absolutely hate them. They're pointless, you might as well just not be wearing one. That's not the best advice to listen to. Forget that, but what I'm saying is a respirator is much more effective. Yeah, I think this can be the load which we give to the pigs directly. 3:15 already. Wow, the time is flying. And with it being winter, it'll be dark within the hour. I'll traverse in here. Should be doing it from in cab view, really. I will do. And actually, thinking about it, they may not need any at all. I seem to remember their sugar beet levels being very good. We'll try it anyway, but yeah, I don't think it's going to accept anything. No, it didn't accept anything at all. So everything here is for storage, but still it's going to be a 50-50 split. We are going to sell some of it. And this does seem like quite a good place to tip it as well. It's undercover and it's not taking up too much space. And of course it's very close to the pigs themselves. They are the only animals which we own which actually would eat the sugar beet. The cows don't want anything to do with it. So as that trailer is lowering, we'll get into this tractor and we'll tip this load as well. Is the Red Rock a bigger trailer? I think it is, you know. They look physically very similar. But I think this one has just taken it at 17,500 litres. In fact, yep, that's tipping fine. I will just check. Oh, you can't see unless it's full. In that case, we'll check this way. Yes, this one is 16,000. 1750. 1,500 more. How are we going? Ah, yes, we have tipped it all in one go and it's actually spilt through the wall. How interesting. That can't be right. There's only one more place to go to now, and that is back to the field. I'm going to take both of them there, just because it's en route, kind of. We need to bring the sugar beet cleaner back with us and the JCB, so we'll just do it as a huge convoy. And anything else we get now, oh, I've gone wrong again. Anything else we get now, I think what I'll do is I'll put it straight into the sell point. It's one of those days, you know, when you just, for some reason, keep making minor mistakes in a day. That's like this video. Many minor mistakes. Hopefully it doesn't detract from the gameplay too much. These hedges really should be cut. You can see they've grown up quite a bit in the summer and they need a bit of a trim. It's a big shame that you can't do hedge cutting in Farming Simulator. You still can't do it. That is something which would be very nice to have in FS19 or as even a mod in 17. In fact, with all due respect to the modders, you wouldn't have thought that it would be too difficult to do it, because obviously you can cut any crop in this game and it leaves the stubble. So if a modder was to create a hedge and have it leaving obviously the equivalent of long stubble, meaning most of the hedge, you'd have thought that'd be possible, but I'm no modder, I can't say. Obviously the modders are the people with the brains here, but yeah, I'm just surprised it hasn't been done. Maybe it is much more difficult than it sounds. I should think it is. And then of course a hedge cutter needs to be created as well, which I should think is quite difficult to make. That tractor's not required, but this one is. We'll tidy things up, we'll make sure it's completely tidy. Ah, yes, I remember this. There is a collision which sticks out which you can't actually see. I think it's there mainly so you don't just go rampaging through it like I just did. because you don't want to get too close to it. Tidying up is not the most fun job in the world. It has to be done. 2 small pieces left. So those of you who love the RC Monday videos, Radio Controlled Monday, hopefully you were pleased by yesterday's video. I actually did one of a Traxxas, which I've actually had for a long time. That video was recorded back in March or April. You could probably tell by the exterior shots anyway, but yeah, I've just been putting it off for some reason. I don't know why. I've had it recorded for a long time. I suppose it was the thought of having to edit it and then narrate it, because that is fine. Love doing that kind of thing, but because I left it too long to begin with, it sort of puts me off, because then I don't really know what I did in the video, so I have to trawl back through it again and re-edit it and just see exactly what I did within it. But in the end it wasn't too bad. Quite fun to do the editing for that. That tractor, I am sure, is creeping. It is creeping. Now, while it's just finishing off, I suppose the best thing to do is going to be to get the Ford tractor reattached. And we are really losing the light quite fast. If there is anything left in it, which I don't think there is, we'll put it in the front. Yeah, that is it all done. So, only one more thing to do, and that is to pack things up. Got to be close enough to get that thing to work. So actually, despite me saying it was just a bit of tidying up, we've still got another almost 11,000 litres. Sounds good to me. Right, not that tractor. This machine, it consumes no fuel, it appears. It's very economical. And to fold it up we have to press N on the keyboard. You can also use the mouse. But I think that's been a nice piece of equipment to use. It certainly makes a change from just scooping it up and putting it into a trailer. It's fairly dull doing that for a video. So having a different approach like this is very nice. And I'm not sure, but I seem to recall somebody saying it would be very nice to have a system which actually gives you a better price for it if it's cleaned. I can't remember if it was if that was actually the modder CD models or not, but either way, it is a very good idea. We'll close the lid. Everything's animated. That is another thing which I actually really love about CD modders' creations. They are always very well animated. There's always many moving parts, just to add the realism and really make it come alive. I suppose this time we should still drive the JCB, as the workers don't like it too much. But there we have it, a totally cleared field. You'd never know it had been dumped there now. And it's ready to be ploughed or cultivated, ready for next year's crops. It's not going to be sugar beet again. We need to have a crop rotation. To be honest, I don't know what it's going to be, but it will likely be something like oilseed rape or possibly wheat. But these things can be decided much later on in the spring. Our worker on the minimap actually spells FDI. Whatever that means, but yes, FDI is the spelling of our 3 workers together. So on the way back, I'll probably deviate and drop off the tractor with the load of sugar beet on board. Then the rest of it can be taken back to the yard. I suppose actually it could all go in the yard opposite the other yard. It's not really narrowing it down there, but you know, opposite the main yard on the other side of the road. That is a good place to take it to, because there's plenty of space there and we're not going to be getting in the way. How are they doing back there anyway? Beacons? We can have the beacons on. 4:10 and it's still quite bright. And this is midwinter. That field you see in front of us, that is our oilseed radish, which is a cover crop. Basically, natural fertiliser. We're going to be ploughing, well, I was going to plough it in today, but actually the crop is nowhere near ready to be ploughed in, since it is still -3, the ground temperature. And it has to be at least, I think it has to be at least 0, although it could be 1, +1. Not entirely sure, but it's looking like it's going to have to be early spring when we do that. Ah, yes, that does give me an idea. Let me just do something. We must do this before I forget. It needs to be extended. I may be reversing this back depending on how many days it's going to give us for winter. I didn't save it, did I? Right, okay, so what I've just done is I have adjusted it and it has actually extended the winter, which makes me think, oh joy, with a sarcastic feeling. But if you think about it, well, every day is snow, but if you think about it, it's going to give us an opportunity to do forestry and some other things as well. And if the ground does actually warm up above freezing point, we can do some ploughing in winter as well, which I do need to do. So there are positives and negatives towards this. Also, it means we don't have to do part 1 and part 2 for certain days, which I didn't really like doing. So every day is an episode, to put it simply. Oh yes, and it is snowing. What fun. If it snows for too long, it's going to start to settle, and we're going to be snowed in. Luckily, we now have the JCB, which I'll have to get a snowplow for. Oh no, look at the forecast. Friday, which is still spring, is showing snow. That's not a good start to the spring. Hopefully it does get a bit warmer. And look at the temperature for Monday night. -8. Ooh, that's cold. Well, if this snow does continue, I'll have to update you at the end of this video to see how deep it got within this day. If it doesn't settle, then obviously I can't show you anything. But looking at the forecast, we're set to have a few very heavy snowfalls, which could cause havoc on the farm. So, kind of looking forward to it, kind of not. There are good and bad things about it. Just look at that snow. I hope you're not watching this video in 140p, because the bitrate is going to kill you. Not literally, but it's going to be awful having all this snow flying about. In fact, that gives me a very good idea. I can do a bit of a shout out. Not that the content is even half related to my videos, but Tom Scott, fantastic YouTuber, he actually did a video on this, how confetti or snow can really mess up your bitrate and the reasons behind it. If you want to find out more, then all you have to do, simply type in Tom Scott, T-O-M for Tom, and Scott, S-C-O-T-T, and you'll find out much more about him, or the content he produces. Very educational stuff, but also very fascinating. I'll park this here. And, yep, that can come in here too. I'll put it next to it so we can actually get the JCB out again. And despite it actually snowing in the shed, there is a snow mask on this map. It's all set up. So basically what that means is when it does settle, it won't actually settle in the shed. And finally we have got the New Holland tractor with the Red Rock trailer. And again, this can stay here. And everything in this trailer is going to be sold. The wipers are going like mad now on the Claas. It is coming down fairly fast. It's also going dark. So yeah, looking very wintry. I don't know about you, but do you think it looks better with the weather forecast open? I can close it, but would you prefer me to keep it open or close it down and just show it every now and then? It's just if I don't have it open, nobody can really see exactly which part of the month we're in, or season we're in, or what temperatures it's going to be, or what weather type it's going to be. But either way, doesn't bother me at all. Right, so let's just hope this is actually a sell point for the sugar beet. If it isn't, we're going to have to take it somewhere else. Yeah. That was fairly predictable. So let me just run through it and we'll see the best place for it. 298 over at Dusty Cove Sales. I think that's past the store. It is indeed. I know exactly where to go. That's one of the fun things about having a tractor. You're not going to get snowed in half as quickly as a car. I suppose that'd be another thing which would be very nice to have in the game. The ability to tow cars out of the ditch when they've been going too fast in the ice. The traffic isn't slowing down despite the weather. There's the shop. It's getting misty as well. Okay. Well, here we are. How much does it all weigh? 18 tons, yep. Now somebody commented when I came into this yard before and said that they had an issue with getting stuck in the pit, this pit just here. Now I actually avoided that accidentally by reversing into it. Ah yes, I can see their problem. It is actually possible to fall in the pit. So I think I will just stick with reversing over it. It does seem to be a better method. Wow, this snow is getting very heavy. How much money for this? £3,278. As I said, you don't get as much for sugar beet, but you do get a lot of it. So, yeah, you could argue that it is still a very good crop to do. Now I think there's only one more thing to do now, and that is to head back to the yard, shut up everything, and go and put our feet up with a hot drink. I don't know how quickly the snow does settle, but one thing is for sure, when it does settle, it really does. It doesn't get super deep, but it could certainly make a road impassable to a car. I can barely see a thing. Ah, the farmhouse. A nice warm place to be. Feel sorry for the cows. Now, has changing our season's length messed up the animals in any way? Look at those great demands. I seriously hope not. Yeah, it's looking very good. It's good news. In fact, everything with the animals is perfect, with the exception of the corn for the pigs. But as I've already explained, you know exactly the reasons behind that, so nothing I can do. Right, snow does settle in trailers, but we do have a cover, so we shouldn't need to worry. Come on, windscreen wiper, turn off. We're finished here. Okay, I'm a bit close to the barn. Doesn't that look wintry? The winter has... Oh, that's why the tractor thinks we're still in there. The beacon was on. Yeah, that is the wintriest feeling I've ever had in Farming Simulator. I'm actually feeling cold in the middle of summer. To the farmhouse! We must run over here to get our hot chocolate or whatever drink we desire. And I'll shut this gate as well. Keep the hoodlums out. Okay. See you when the snow is deeper.